Hello, everybody. We are back. The most important thing of all time is that debate is a game.
Yeah. Every
We got
fifth
Tim
week. We don't get to
Seavey.
do this often. We love every fifth Wednesday.
Yeah.
Debate being a game is some of the most fun.
Yeah. And we got
Before
Tim
we jump
Seavey
into
from
it,
San
though,
Diego. Yeah.
and you are Jared Miller,
Yeah.
communications professor and instructor of debate, and
Yes.
I am a proud debate coach these days. So
Yes.
first off, congratulations, as we talked last week about the NPDA championship that happened this past weekend in Stockton, California at UOP, University of the Pacific. And congratulations to Parliamentary Debate at Berkeley for winning the national championship. So way to go,
All
Berkeley.
right. Excellent. Oh, he's
Yeah.
Berkeley that won it, huh? Okay,
Yep.
good.
And I am very proud of my kiddos. They took third. So semifinalists from SDSU. That is no joke. And that's the second time in a row that we finished top 4. So stoked on them for that. Like, way to go, SDSU, making a name.
I'm drinking out of my
Yay.
NPDA 20 years ago. Look at
Nice. Cheers.
that.
All right. So debate is a game.
Debate is a game.
What are we playing?
We are
And
playing
what are the
something
prizes?
called Debateable.
Nice.
Check that out. All right. So it's a real simple little box here. Boom. And all you got is a little bit of instructions, and you got a big old stack of cards here. You can see like how are shirts buttoned from top down, from bottom up, or are you naked if you're only wearing socks?
Nice. Okay.
But those are just the top ones. So you got just 2 big old stacks of topics.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Let's take a look what the instructions say. All right. So there looks like there's 2, like there's nothing on the back here, but on this one,
Okay.
you have a competitive mode and a casual mode.
Okay.
I think that we might have to do the casual mode because of the competitive mode. I was reading ahead and said that's one where we need 3 people.
I wish we could have ChatGPT weigh in and be our third person. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That might be good. That might be good. But then we have to like type in our type in our whole argument that we're making, and then say
okay. So like it's one person is the judge and the other 2 are competing.
Yeah. So ChatGPT could be one of the a competitor. And then
is there cross-examination or anything?
No. So let's take a look here. First, choose who will be the dealer from the first round, and then whoever the dealer is, the you have a left and a right. Okay. It's meeting to the immediate left and then right. What you do is you take a card, and you're supposed to flip one card. Let's take I took one at random. Okay. Now if you see one side is orange and the other side is kind of like this pink. Which doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense to like colorblind people. I think there might be, like those are too similar in my opinion. Yep. Like you would need to have,
as you showed that to the camera, your camera picked those both up as like a hazy orange. Or I'm colorblind. Either way.
Well, that's the orange, right?
Yeah.
And that's the pink. It's like it's a little bit lighter, but
yeah,
it's really similar. It looks a little better in person.
I mean, maybe I'm colorblind, but that looks like light orange to me. But anyway,
cool. So like here, take a look. These are the 2 colors side by side. All right. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not I think I understand the color scheme for the box, but like you might need to have like symbols on there that denote one side and the other because it's the same topic, right? The same topic on both sides.
All right.
The point is that what you do is like, so let's say I'm the judge. You are on my right, check my left. Okay. And so when you flip this, if the pink side lands up, the player to your right, so your pink gets to choose what side you want to be.
Okay.
If it lands on orange, then ChatGPT gets to pick what side you want to be.
Okay.
All right. And then what you do is you just make a 15-second argument each. The judge has to write down their opinion beforehand.
Okay.
All right. So it's like based off of the question. I look at that question and it says, so let's just do this. All right. You're on my right. ChatGPT's on the left. That makes you pink, ChatGPT orange, right?
Okay.
So it landed on pink. So you get to choose who would win in a fight: West Side Story sharks or a gang of real sharks.
A gang of real sharks.
Okay. So now what you do is you do a single argument. You just make one argument. It's saying it's like you think about like 15 seconds that you have to make one single argument.
Okay.
And then ChatGPT can respond to it. Okay. And then ChatGPT gets to make their argument and you get to respond to it. So it's like one argument with a rebuttal and then a counter argument and you get to rebuttal that as well.
Okay.
So there's no timer.
Okay.
There's no mechanism for that. Like whenever you feel like making your argument, go for it.
Got it. The West Side Story sharks were not particularly rich. The only way for humans to beat sharks in a fight is with expensive equipment, like boats and harpoon guns.
Okay.
Because the West Side Story sharks wouldn't have these, sharks would win every time.
So you're saying a real gang of sharks. So now let's take a look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter that into ChatGPT. So we're going to have our third person right here. You're having a debate, and your opponent made the argument that a real gang of sharks would win in a fight against the West Side Story sharks because to afford the equipment needed to meet them,
to beat them in a fight. You could even say like the boats and spear guns or whatever. I hope ChatGPT 4 understands parentheticals.
Yeah.
Cool.
It does pretty good. So okay. So here we go. ChatGPT, generate a response. So it says, if you can't read it, everybody. So while I understand the point you're trying to make by comparing the real gang of sharks to a fictional West Side Story of sharks, it's important to recognize that we're discussing two entirely different contexts. The West Side Story sharks are human characters in a musical, while the gang of sharks refers to a group of marine animals. Comparing their abilities to fight each other is not a meaningful exercise, as it involves comparing two entities that exist in different realms. All right. Furthermore, the assertion that West Side Story sharks would lose due to their inability to afford equipment is also irrelevant. The characters in a musical are meant to represent socioeconomic struggles and tension. This is, oh my God, such a downer. All right.
Yeah.
It's crucial to recognize that comparing fighting abilities not of a real gang of sharks West Side Story is not a meaningful debate. Try to have fun and just make a damn argument. Let's see what it says. All right, let's have some fun with this debate then. Yay! Engage in a hypothetical battle. And you see, look how you have to like coax it into it.
I'm amazed that like you're pretty like casual and jabbing instruction actually pans out.
Yeah, I think that the more you treat this as a discussion, I think the better results that you get. You know, and you sit there, and I could have just like it's going too long though.
Loyalty to it. This is so funny.
Okay, humans they possess higher cognitive abilities. There you go.
Yeah. Creative strategies even without access to boats and guns.
They're street smarts. Makeshift weapons or traps. There you go. You don't need to. Yeah.
Oh, their second argument actually is even better. They're part of a close-knit gang and have a strong sense of camaraderie and loyalty to another.
Real sharks are not known for their teamwork.
Oh man,
that's really good, man. Oh wow. Oh man, hey, if
you're watching, uses
like,
them like while they're formidable predators. Like, wow, look at that. Nice. Okay. So I get to respond, or is that the whole debate?
No, so it kind of is, because it kind of did both of them at the same time. And I think that's how we should treat this one, right? Look,
okay. So they gave some refutation and then made their own argument.
Yeah, the first one is refutation to your argument about socioeconomics and how that would affect it. And the second one is a totally new argument. So it kind of naturally participated. Now you get a chance to respond to the camaraderie loyalty argument. And then it goes to judgment, which would be
okay. So do I now get to respond to the makeshift weapons, because that would be rejoinder?
Yeah, you know what? Let me see here. I think that you do. The opposing player then gets the same amount of time for a statement of rebuttal while the other player is wrong. Yeah, first player gets a short statement to address the rebuttal for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so it goes just first statement, first player, or first speaker, second speaker, first speaker again, or did they get a follow-up as well?
No, it goes, yeah, first, second, and then back to first. So Tim to chat to back to Tim.
Okay.
For that one.
That's a pretty good advantage on the affirmative side then, or whoever gets to pick first. I don't care how street smart these kids are and how closely knit they are. If anything else, that would make them easier targets for sharks to just pick them off one by one. I doubt that many of those kids can even swim very well.
Oh.
So enjoy your broom handle harpoons and your makeshift wooden raft floating or little floats. You can all be at each other's funerals, and that's where you enjoy your camaraderie.
All right. Okay. And so, wait, did you? You respond? Yeah, you responded to those weapons. All right.
Okay, and now you choose as the dealer. You choose. You're the judge.
Yeah. Oh man, I might be going with ChatGPT on this one, man.
All right.
Yeah. It's such a downer in the first one.
Yeah, it's just like they had one glass of really pretentious wine. They're like, this is a stupid comparison.
Yeah.
It's socioeconomic struggle. It's really more of a metaphor. You didn't even get West Side Story. And then you told it to shut up and have fun. And it made a great argument.
Okay. So let's just say let's flip it now. Let's get a new topic. Let's have ChatGPT sort of decide. All right. So now,
what's the new topic?
The topic is what should cheesecake be classified as?
Like totally open-ended, or are we given two options?
A pie or a cake?
Ooh.
Choose which side you want and make an argument. So like,
all right, that's gonna be tough.
Oh, I put chose though. Let's see. As a pie, here we go.
I was hoping to choose that one.
Good. More similarities with pies than with traditional cakes.
Yeah, crust.
The most noticeable distinction between cheesecakes and cakes is the crust. Cheesecakes typically have a crust made of crushed graham crackers, cookies, or even pastry dough, which is characteristic more commonly associated with pies. Traditional cakes, on the other hand, do not have a crust and are made up of layers of sponge or other types of cake batter. Another aspect that differentiates cake. And see, you're only supposed to make one.
Yeah.
Is the filling. Cheesecake are made up of a dense, creamy filling that is primarily composed of cream cheese, sugar, and eggs. Is filling more akin to custard or fruit fillings. Wow. rather than the leaven texture of cake batter. Additionally, cheesecakes do not typically contain any leavening agents such as baking powder or baking soda. Geez, it just keeps on going. It made 4 freaking arguments.
Wow. Okay.
The cooking process is more similar. They're baked in water baths, which helps maintain a gentle, even heat. Finally, when it comes to presentation, cheesecakes often resemble pies more than cakes. They're usually served in wedges. Can even be topped with fruit. Holy moly.
All right. Yeah, I think I'd actually be really interested in what it would argue on the opposite, because I don't really have a lot here. I've got just like 1 or 2 small points that I think I'd make. Oh, damn it. It preempted my argument.
Do the crust filling about cheesecake may be slightly misleading. Characteristics align more closely with that of pies, making delicious. Now I refute these arguments and a let's see. As a cake. So one of the reasons to classify cheesecake as a cake is the presence of the word cake in its name.
That was the first argument I was going to go for.
It's been used for centuries to describe the dessert and has become ingrained in our culinary culture. Do share similarities with traditional cake. Both cheesecakes and cakes typically include ingredients such as sugar, eggs, and flavorings like vanilla extract. Main difference lies in the use of cream cheese as the base for cakes instead of flour, but this substitution doesn't necessarily disqualify it from being considered a cake. Many variations of cake exist that use different bases, such as flourless chocolate cake or almond-based cake, yet they are still classified as cakes. When it comes to texture, cheesecakes and traditional cakes both offer a variety of styles. Some cheesecakes have a lighter, more airy texture, while others are denser and creamier. Traditional cakes can range from light and fluffy sponge cakes to denser and moister pound cakes. This diversity of textures within the cake family means cheesecakes can fit it.
Springform pans. Oh my god, those are such good arguments. I didn't even consider the like you make it in a kind of pan that's only used for making cakes.
Yeah, springform, right?
Yeah,
it's not bad. I don't know of any pie that's made it in springform.
Yeah, that's. Whew. And like what it's rolling a meal. That's, man, those are good arguments I did not get to. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so who wins, the affirmative or the negative?
Pies can be sweet or savory. Oh, but can cheesecakes
be the main course?
Savory? Huh.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm thinking pies. We got one person watching right now. What do you think? Cake or pie? And who do you think won? All right. So you can
those are those are pretty solid arguments on both sides. Though I did not see refutation. You said refute those arguments, and I didn't see any direct response.
That's right.
I guess it's supposed a little bit responded to ingredients of saying like, yeah, sure, pie. You know, the ingredients in a cake may oftentimes include like eggs and flour, but they don't have to. So I guess it's just used. It's kind of a little cop out of like flourless cake doesn't use that, or almond based cakes don't. So yeah, fair enough.
All right,
this is kind of cool. All right, want to pick another topic and you can argue against ChatGPT?
Yeah, but I do want to point out like that. So we were kind of playing around with the competitive mode, right? Where you kind of like you're picking one, but then there's a casual mode.
Okay.
And so the casual mode starts like this. First, get some drinks. This is very important. Now, drink them. You're doing great so far. Now, just sit around with your friends and randomly pick a card, announce it to the group, and discuss as loudly and passionately as the current level of intoxication allows.
Way to go. These people know how to make a game. Cheers to that.
Yeah. So like you could, it's like, here we go. Okay. So now let's just enter casual mode. How about that?
Cheers. Yeah.
Okay. How are shirts buttoned? From the top down, from the bottom up?
From the top down. You're a psychopath if you do it any other way.
Oh man. You know what? I'm wearing a button-up shirt. I think I started from the bottom up.
No.
I do.
Well, okay. I mean, that strengthens my argument, though. You are a psychopath that just like we've already labeled that. No, it's got to be the top down because too many times you like misbutton something like it's misaligned when you start from the bottom. If you start at the top, you already know you've aligned it more correctly. Like your eyes are up top, the collar's up top. You can match it up easier at the top than you can at the bottom. That's like a wild game of guessing. Some shirts have an extra button at the bottom. They have an extra button at the bottom that's just for like if you lose a button or whatever. And if you start your buttoning with that, which is completely reasonable, like I found a button, I found a hole, let me put them together, you're screwed by the time you get to the top.
What? Are you a child? Like you are so like you are distracted by one button. You don't know how to like there is a bottom of the shirt. You just align the bottom, and where the first hole aligns with the first button, you just start going.
But like some shirts that are tuck-in shirts are really long, and that button starts a little bit lower, and you don't know, you're like hungover in the morning, and so you're trying to just like fiddle around, get the bottom in place. Meanwhile, a collar always meets, so you just go a little bit below the start of the collar, and that's where you go straight down.
You're hungover every morning.
Especially mornings that end in G.
Oh man. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the chat GPT.
Okay.
From the top down or bottom. Let's take a look at this. I just asked you to choose a side.
Yeah.
Top down.
Yeah. And that's going to be like 800 words on the subject.
So this one's kind of cool where you just like you argue, let the two humans argue it out a little bit and then compare it to like what ChatGPT would do. Because I think what that would do is when it accesses its large language model, it might lean towards the one that has more content. This is a hypothetical. It's an assumption that I'm making. I don't know for certain, but let's see what it says. So it goes top down. Buttoning shirt from the top down has several practical advantages. First, it ensures the collar is properly aligned and comfortable around the neck. Yeah. I'm just going to skip. Secondly, buttoning from the top down ensures that the shirt is buttoned correctly and evenly. I disagree. I think
that's actually redundant with the first one.
Yeah. Another advantage is that it allows you to easily adjust the shirt as you go. If you need to tuck in the shirt in your pants or skirt, you can do so as you work your weight. What?
Oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah. So like actually, if you don't need to keep buttoning all the way to the bottom, you just tuck in when you're done.
No, see, now I like my way better because what I do is I do like the first 3 buttons and then I tuck it in and I can still do my like deodorant. Because
you don't like deodorant before starting your button process?
No, not like so what I do, I'm special. I have a walk-in closet. So
I know you are.
So I get dressed, I go straight from my shower to my closet and I start getting dressed. Right?
I get dressed in the shower. I'm much more efficient than you.
While it's still running.
While I'm brushing my teeth.
My clothes and showering at the same time.
Bam. Way ahead of the game.
Follows the natural progression of dressing. Typically, when putting on a shirt, you first slip your arms through the sleeves and pull the shirt over your head and shoulders. Starting to button from the top continues this upward motion. It feels more intuitive.
Do you have some instruction baked into it of like give me 1,000 words on any topic?
No.
So far, it's giving a dense number of arguments for each of these.
No, I'm using ChatGPT 4. I'm using 4. I'm using the most recent one.
So it just wants to give you a ton of content?
Yeah, because just so everyone kind of understands what that means here, like if I start a new chat, so the default is 3.5, but I went and chose 4, and you can see the different levels here where reasoning is like maxed out, but in the more recent the default version, it's 3 out of 5. So it probably is able, like when it comes to reasoning, it's able to come up with more arguments this way. Yeah, I would think, right? Whereas like the default,
it's not as concise. Yeah. That's neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this one's but yeah, concise.
It says it's 4 out of 5 conciseness. Like, I mean, you can tell it to be more concise, I'm sure.
Well, each argument is kind of concise. Like it just has a bunch of them, you know?
I suppose.
Yeah. Huh. All right, we want another one?
Yeah, that was an okay one.
Okay,
I feel like, so
okay.
to your theory earlier that if you gave it a topic that has just more literature base on it, I suppose if you went something like, is toilet paper rolled from the front or from the back? Like, should toilet paper be unrolled from the front or from the back? Like, that is a fairly well debated subject, but I think there are way more voices on the rolled from the front side. And so I imagine it would probably just go with something like that.
Maybe. So I'm a roll from the back type of person.
Are you really? My God, I've learned so many frightening things about you tonight. I guess, should you unroll toilet paper?
Should the roll of toilet paper I got one really good argument.
I'm going to be interested.
Over the top.
Yeah, over the top.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hear more people say the front over the top. It's like, yeah.
I think most people are there, and I don't know how legitimate it was, but I did see someone share the originally filed patent for toilet paper, and on the patent it shows the paper being pulled over the front.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hygienic.
Yep. That's the one that I would go for. That's the only argument that I really got on it.
So easier to locate the end of the toilet paper when it's in the front. Okay, I get that. When the toilet paper is in the back, they have to touch the wall or parts of the toilet paper. Okay.
That's what grosses me out, is like, oh, that's against other toilet paper, or that's against the wall or dispenser, especially if you get like the really fluffy rolls. If you really love yourself, you get the thick toilet paper, and that doesn't fit all the way in the little dispenser quite as easily. It's just like pulling against the back there, and that's kind of gross.
Aesthetics. So yeah, I might use this as refutation, where it's like, this is a pretentious elitist argument. Right?
Okay.
It's like, how am I going to fold special little designs in my toilet paper if it's in the back? I'm like,
yeah, you can't do it.
God.
Oh, there you go. An 1891 patent by Seth Wheeler. It's cited that rolls in the front. Yes, that's it. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, again, that may be completely bogus, but I saw that written somewhere, and ChatGPT read that same article.
I say that if you have your toilet paper rolling from the front, that means you hate cats. Because no cat owner would let their toilet paper be that way, because cats go in there and will just unroll the whole damn thing.
Oh, they can't push up, but they will push down, and so
yeah,
if it's on the back,
yeah, that's right. And so if you want to have a mess in your if you own a cat and you want to have a mess in your bathroom, then I guess you can roll it in the front. But any self-respecting cat owner knows you do not want that to happen.
Okay, that's a pretty good one. I like that. All right, last one. I just really want to know, because I feel like these are life's big questions, and I haven't put it into ChatGPT, and this is the time for it. Is a Pop-Tart a ravioli?
I'm gonna make sure pick a side.
Yeah.
Make sure, I don't think the question mark matters, but I can't let it go. I will argue a Pop-Tart is not a ravioli. It's like, okay, I know what you're saying. Both of them are, a filling enclosed by dough or pastry, but there's differences.
Okay, but it's a question of classification. It's not like, ooh, I'm gonna have raviolis tonight. I'm having Pop-Tarts tonight, and that's the same thing. It's more like, does it fall into the classification of a ravioli? Okay,
Yeah,
a better one then. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah, we could check that one. I did that one in front of my class, and so
oh yeah, and
it has a whole bunch of arguments. Respective filling, Pop-Tarts are made with sweet pastry dough. Ravioli is made with savory pasta dough. Yeah, I think like pasta dough is something specific.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Typically filled with sweet preserves. That one's the same thing. Filled with savory ingredients. Both of them are.
Yeah,
that's
it
the
gets
dough. That's the filling. Like. Okay. Yeah, baked or toasted, whereas
Okay.
ravioli is boiled.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I think that the hot dog is a sandwich. That is perhaps the most important question of our time.
I'm gonna overrule you on this one because I want to see this one. I have to see this one. I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever seen this question posed.
No? Oh. Say water is not wet. You should describe a solid object or surface that comes into contact with a liquid such as water. When an object is wet, is typically covered in the thin layer of liquid. It can be wiped off or evaporated. Wetness is therefore a property that arises from the interaction between a solid object and liquid, rather than a property of the liquid itself. Why the fuck is that not? I don't know.
That seems very recursive.
Yeah. Water being liquid does not possess the property of wetness because it cannot be covered or saturated by itself. Why not? Isn't it like a cup full of water? Doesn't that mean that water is covering water? Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Water molecules are attracted to each other through bonding, which creates cohesive force, holds molecules together. When water comes in contact with a solid surface, the adhesive force between the water molecules and the surface molecules compete with cohesive forces, leading to the formation of a thin layer of water on the surface. This interaction results in the surface becoming wet, but the water itself remains unchanged. Huh. The feeling of wetness is not a property of the water itself, but rather the result of the interaction between the water and your skin. Water molecules come into contact with your skin. They adhere to the surface and form a thin layer that can be sensed as wetness. If water were inherently wet, this sensation would not be dependent on contact with a solid surface.
No, I don't buy that one, because I think if you stick your hand in a cup of water, like if you have someone blindfolded and you're like, what does this feel like? And put their hand in a cup of water, not touching the sides of it or not touching the bottom of it, just into the cup of water, it's like, oh, that's wet.
Yeah. Does the even if
does that mean like the cup is extremely wet, like because it's full of water, the cup is fully wet? Like, is the ocean wet because it's just full of, like, is the ocean floor wet just like significantly? I don't buy that one.
I'll argue the opposite. Yeah, to describe the sensation or state of being saturated. So, yeah. Yeah, constant contact. It is reasonable to argue that water is wet. Like it's like the molecules are touching each other.
Yeah, right? It looks like it's using like the exact same arguments on both sides.
You just said this one though. Yeah, let's examine the sensation of wetness when we touch water. The feeling of wetness is often attributed to the presence of liquid on a surface where water molecules come into contact with your skin. Yeah. Since water molecules are in constant contact with one another, they're continuously creating a sensation of wetness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we kind of got a little sidetracked, but I mean, I would suspect that some of them would also be in here. What do we got on that one? I don't even know.
What is the superior maple syrup delivery? Pancakes or waffles? Oh, yeah, definitely waffles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like you get a whole bunch of pockets of them rather than just like runs off the side or absorption. Like, and it's just like a time delayed, challenge.
Okay, so
I would thoroughly enjoy this just game. You could make some friends, you could lose some friends. That'd be a good party game.
Another thing is it's really compact. So like when you're visiting somebody, it's not a chore to bring this with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually something that goes overlooked a lot. You know what I mean? It's something that like Settlers of Catan, I think is a great game. But that's like a family game, right? This is like a party game.
Yeah.
And so I think it works really well. I really appreciate the casual instructions that they offer. That really helps. The topics are fun. This is something that I would use in my class, I think, to help get them loosened up. And I might actually do that. I might bring it in and let some students play around with it a bit.
and then crush their dreams by making them compete against ChatGPT. You will never argue this well.
Well, everybody, hey, that is our time. You know what? I'm gonna have to take a break next week. I'm taking a small vacation from this, so I think that we're just going to take a pause on the broadcast, and then we'll be back later.
Well, the world of first week is NPDA, and the world of NPDA is all taking a break as well, as they just finished their championship. I suppose they got NPTE coming up, but it's going to be a very small, chill tournament this year. So everyone can take a break on Parley for a bit.
Yeah. All right.
We will see you soon.
So this is Tim and Jared. We're signing off. We will see you when we see you. Bye, everybody.